welcome. Welcome in or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. Thank you for all the wonderful likes and comments and shares and subscribes lately. I'm really grateful for every single one of you here. So this is a reading for True Sky Sagittarius for the month of August. So August is our eclipse season at the moment, and we will have a not true sky. It is obviously the true sky, but it's a total solar eclipse and a new moon in Leo on the 12th of August. And the core themes are around releasing pride, stopping the need for constant external applause, and resetting your core creative identity. So very Leonian themes. So for a true sky Sagittarian, it really does depend on your placement or placements. So if this is a Sagittarian rising sign, this new moon lunar solar eclipse could be in your potentially your 9th house. It does depend obviously on the degrees and also the house system, but the 9th house is Sagittarius's natural house. So I do think that this eclipse, the new moon, is going to be quite significant for you, Sagittarius. And if it's for your sun, obviously, then you would have a different chart layout, different houses. So I'm not sure what house it would be in, but it could still be trining your sun. So there is that energy, like that's quite a positive, soft energy there. There's, it's stronger than, say, a sextile or something. And similarly, if it is your moon or whatever placement of True Sky Sag that you have, these eclipses, so whether it's the new moon or the full moon, because the full moon still has that Leo sun involved, and that's on the 27th to the 28th, and that's a full moon in True Sky Aquarius. The themes are around for that, the full moon, which is a partial lunar eclipse, a powerful tension between the individual self-expression and collective responsibility, group belonging versus individual sovereignty. So these are some of the tension points there with that opposing Leo and Aquarian energies. So if it's not trining your Sagittarian placement, at some point during that Leo cycle, it will. So I'm not sure where you are on that spectrum. And also the full moon could be sextiling your Sagittarian placement. And we do currently have your ruler Jupiter in Cancer. So there may be some kind of themes to do with like home and family and mothering and mothers and nourishment and these kind of things for you at the moment. However, it also depends where that is placed for you and how it's placed. But because it is the eclipse that it looks quite positive for you, I do feel that it could be even like some kind of dharmic energies coming in here. The South Node is in Leo currently, so it's kind of like the trining aspect is from that end rather than the North Node, which is still sextile. So there's definitely opportunity there as well. And I guess you could say, like positive, maybe karmic energies there as well. So the first deck that I have for you here is so we do also have that Jupiter opposing Pluto. It's not very close anymore though, so that has actually passed on now. So there could have been last month there could have been some interesting, maybe even uncoverings of things, because Pluto's all about like the deep energies, the depth sort of energies. And there is that ongoing Uranus-Pluto trine, which will also involve that Venus in Virgo that we currently have this month. Mercury is in Gemini and also Mars this month. So they could oppose your Sagittarian placement or placements, which could be a little bit challenging as well. So Mercury and Mars. Then this tarot deck is the Tarot of the Sorceress. So I have already pre-shuffled the cards and cleansed the space. So the first deck is the Tarot of the Sorceress, and on the bottom here we have the 10 of Fire. So this is kind of like your 10 of Wands, not really focusing. There, 10 of Wands, which is that card of, you know, a lot of work, a lot of hard work that you have been doing and that you've done. But you haven't seen much results, much positive results from that yet. So that is the underlying energy of the month. It could be a bit of a shadow from past last month as well. Obviously, everyone's situation is different. So the first card we have is the 8 of Air. So this card does have a bit of a, you know, self-restricting kind of energy with it. It does bring some kind of mental limitations and even a sense of feeling kind of paralyzed, which is interesting. Maybe this is that kind of dharmic energy coming in, or some karmic energy, sorry, coming in. However, the next card, the actual crowning card for you for this month, is the Moon. So the Moon can actually bring also like worries and fears along with it. And having that 8 of Air there suggests to me that potentially this could be what is limiting you and maybe making you feel paralyzed as well on some level. The top 3 cards are more so to do with the top kind of energies, the top 3 chakras, so your crown, your third eye, and then your throat. Then you have the Queen of Fire, which is quite interesting. So she is normally a very outgoing, kind of boisterous, creative, warm, friendly, you know, type of, generally it's a feminine, but doesn't have to be a female. And having her with the Moon, to me, is saying that this Moon energy is actually really quite important. The Queen of Fire could even be you, because Sagittarius obviously is a fire sign. So even if you are not a female, it could just be that you are learning about those feminine energies, this feminine source of fire energies at the moment this month. And to me, yeah, it is definitely saying that, you know, these lunar, you know, intuitive, cyclical, you know, gut feeling, potentially even dreams and things like that are actually going to really help you this month. They could hinder you too, though, so be aware of the fears coming up, and also just potential illusions and delusions as well. Then you have, for the central 3 cards, which are linked to the middle 3 chakras, so once again the throat, but also the heart and the solar plexus, you have the Magician. So the Magician is also linked to that 8 of Air, which is quite interesting. So maybe you are feeling quite limited and maybe a bit paralyzed on some level by these fears. However, the Magician is a very active, creative energy again, a little bit like the Queen of Fire. I mean, some say the Queen of Fire is like the Witch of the Tarot. I mean, a Magician and a Witch are basically the same, you know. They both use the elements, they both use magic, you know, in their creations and in their manifestations. So the Magician is all about manifesting. So this will be a really good month for you in manifesting in your life the things that you actually want in your life. But just be aware that there are that potential limiting feelings or thoughts, or, you know, there's some kind of even blockage here as well. So the central card is the 5 of water, and that card is linked to some kind of loss and sadness, potentially even some kind of regret, and even mourning. So there's something that has happened, whether that's this month or recently, but it's something that maybe even you have found it quite hard to shake, like, because it's a central card here for the month, so it's affecting every other energy here. So and because it is also connected to that 8 of air, which is all about that self-limited feeling and the paralyzed energy and how you kind of limit yourself. Then you have the 9 of air as well next to it, which does talk also about blockages. It's linked to worries and despair. So, and then you've got that moon. So I'm not exactly sure if these blockages, and I would say they're not coming up this month. I think this is a past energy. However, just be aware that if it does come up this month, you know, try to maybe use your creative energy. Like, we've got that Queen of Fire there, and we've also got that Magician. So, you know, focus on what it is you do want in your life, and you know, try and put your energy and your passions into play with what it is you are wanting to invest in and put your energy into. Then for the bottom row here, we do have the 2 of air, which is an interesting card as well. So it's also linked to potential indecisiveness. So you may feel like you're at a little bit of a crossroad, and maybe, you know, feeling a bit like a bit of a fence sitter. You don't really know what decision to make. And interestingly, this is somewhat linked to that paralyzed energy. The Magician is in between. So just remember that you are the master of your life, and what you do is what you want, obviously. So try not to let others, you know, influence you. You know, make the best decision for you. Obviously, we all have people in our lives that in some cases rely on us too, so obviously be aware of your own situation, but you really do need to look after yourself at the end of the day, because, you know, generally no one is going to, you know, prioritize your needs over their own. That is, you know, however, obviously, like I said, you know, healthy choices about you know, surrounding people in our lives are always important as well. And then the base of the matter you have for the month is the Ace of Water. So the Ace of Water is about like an emotional new beginning. And because this is in that base area, just be aware that there might be some, you know, emotions that come up that aren't all pleasant. It could be some really pleasant stuff. There could be someone offering you some kind of, you know, nourishment. Could be love, could be friendship. There could be something like that. But then you do have that central card linked to like loss and regret and mourning as well. So just be aware that, you know, if there is this beautiful new energy, like, that's great. But make sure that with this grief, that you are giving yourself time to, you know, honor that as well, you know. And also because that is linked with these blockages and all that as well. So then you have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is a really positive card, and it's lovely to see it here. It definitely makes me feel that this month you will achieve to be able to overcome these energies, these blockages, and these self-limiting feelings, and this sadness and this loss and regret. You're going to actually overcome all that. The wheel is turning in your favor at the moment, and you know, there'll be some good luck this month for you, which does make me think of that, the eclipses with the Leo, because obviously even in this card we have the sun there, which is interesting because the Wheel of Fortune is more traditionally associated with Jupiter, which is obviously your ruler, Sag. So Sagittarius's ruler is Jupiter traditionally. So it is your card. So it's nice to see it here in the main spread. And then the next deck I have here is the Under the Oak Tarot. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Swords. So that's the underlying energy of the month for you. And it is a card about a bit of a journey that you've been going on. So you have been going through hard times, and you are on the other side of those hard times. However, it was also to clarify that 10 of Wands or fire. So definitely to me, it is saying that that you've been working really hard, whatever it is that you've been working on and you've not really been seeing much results from. You are on the other side of that you are going to be in much calmer times. So this is the underlying energy of the month. To clarify the 8 of Air, so that was that self-limiting energy, you have the Hermit, which is an interesting combination because the Hermit is all about kind of not limiting yourself, but being like an introvert, going hermit mode. So not going out and socializing, and making sure that you're spending lots of time in deep inner contemplation. There could be even some kind of study that you've been doing, but you've been going within to look for the answers that you seek at this time. Then for the Moon, you have the Tower, which is quite a interesting card here. The Tower is often linked to Uranus, and it does suggest that there is going to be some kind of dramatic change this month for you. Maybe that will be a good thing. I'm not really sure. With the Moon, it does suggest that you will have some awareness of this chaotic change energy, this catalytic type of revolutionary energy in your life. You may have gut feelings around it. You may even have dreams that warn you. But you'll have some awareness of it. But being as that crowning card, it's going to be pretty dramatic. So, obviously look after yourself the best you can, especially on a emotional, obviously physical, but also spiritual, mental level, because there's definitely some big change coming in for you this month. Having it as that crowning card is really is quite powerful. The Tower and the Moon. It could even be something that you've feared as well. And maybe this thing that you have feared is just come crashing down. So you don't even have to worry about it anymore. So it could actually be a positive change as well. Then for the Queen of Fire, you have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups isn't the most, uplifting energy for the Queen of Fire. It does suggest that, you haven't been feeling very happy and content. There's a sense of dissatisfaction and boredom in your life. You're not really feeling very, complete. There's some, it's not so much a loss, but you're even feeling a bit kind of lost. And then, which is interesting because it does kind of bring that Queen of Fire energy down a little bit. Then you have for the Magician, you have the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is all about like home and family and security, and also, potential even like family reunions and all that kind of thing as well. So maybe this is something you've been trying to manifest. Maybe you've been in contact with some family, or you're trying to get a new home, or there's something here with this manifesting energy to do with that. Maybe even just trying to stabilize yourself. Maybe you have been having this chaotic energy. I mean, we did have that underlying energy of that, the 10 of fire with the 6 of swords, which is suggesting that you have been coming through some pretty hard times. So maybe you're really trying to manifest this stability in your life this month. Then for the 5 of water, that central card again, which was all about that loss and regret. You have that 7 of wands there. So that's a more positive card, and it definitely suggests that you need to defend yourself, and stand up and fight the fight, for you, for you and yourself and your space. So even though there is a loss or some regret here, you know that you need to really focus on what it is you can control in your environment and really step into that going forward. So for the 9 of air, interestingly, we have the Queen of Wands again. So this month, the Queen of Wands, we have doubled for you. And maybe even, because it is, you are a Sag, if you do resonate with the Queen of Wands energy, maybe if you have a tarot deck, you could even, if you have a little altar or something, put your Queen of Wands there and just try and remind you of that, more positive energy that you do also have being a Sag. Because, this was for that blockage card. And to me, it is saying that, if you can focus on these more positive, Queen of Wands energies, like, being warm and loving and creative and a bit of an extrovert, lots of fun, that kind of thing, then it should really help relieve some of these blockages that are going on for you. Then you have, for the 2 of air, you have the Strength card. So to me, that is saying that you really need to use your inner strength and your courage to guide you in your decision making this month. For the Ace of Water, you have the Ace of Wands to clarify. So interesting, we have double aces here as your base of the matter. And not only is it going to be an emotional new beginning for you this month, that's like underlying everything, but there's also going to be a new passionate beginning as well. So that is, it really brings that Ace of Wand energy up a little bit more, I do think. Having the fire, obviously you have to be aware that they aren't the most complementary of energies. I mean, you can heat water and, make some tea or a nice soup or have a bath. So there is some complementary energies there, but it's the other way, when there's too much water, it puts the fire out. So you just got to be aware of that as well. If it is a new relationship coming in, try and remember that as well. Because if you do have these kind of, this energy of that loss and regret, and then you've got all this emotion, just try to not let that, smother that inner fire, because that's something you will really need this month. I think it's going to really help you. And because we do have basically from around the 6th, but I find around the 8th when the sun goes into the sign of True Sky Leo, the rest of the month, it's the sun in Leo. It is a powerful time because Leo is ruled by the sun, and having the only sign that's ruled by the sun in that sign is very powerful. I know here where I am, like I am in the southern hemisphere, and for us it's like the end of winter and almost all the way up until the spring equinox for us in September. It's in Leo, and so you just see that shift from that winter energy going into the spring, and it's really quite beautiful. And I find it here quite soft even, and I don't know if many people think of Leo as being like a soft warmth, but because you have that coldness of the earth, it's so, I can't even explain it, but it's quite beautiful having that warmth come in to kind of, disperse, I guess, the cold. To me, it's that very Leo, loving, warm kind of energies. But yeah, so then you have the Wheel of Fortune with the Ace of Swords. So we have another ace here as well. And like I was saying, the Wheel of Fortune is going to bring a lot of good luck and abundance for you this month. Having it with the Ace of Swords, however, the Ace of Swords is an interesting card. It is linked to sometimes a message, and sometimes it is a message of truth. So you may learn something really important this month, and that could actually really help you as well. There may be some kind of revelation, or even almost a sense of like enlightenment about something. And to me, it seems like it is linked to this morning energy and also the blockage as well. So I think that that's really quite interesting there as well. The next cards that I have for you for this month, Sag, are the Shaman Oracle, which quite beautifully you have on the bottom of the deck, the Shaman of Stars. The Shaman of Stars is linked to starry wisdom, recognizing ancestral paths and relationships, which is kind of jumping out to me because this figure has, like, it looks like children, and they're even sharing like a star with one, but the other one, they're not, but the other one's arms are stretched out. That's a really interesting symbolism there. Transformative energy, changes in direction, reassessment, awareness of higher purpose. So that is something I was picking up on a little bit with that Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Swords, awareness of higher purpose. Yeah. However, the first card you have is the Hunter of Paths. So that is for your, wow, the Hunter of Paths. That's your crowning card. Then you have the Spirit of Empowerment as your central card, heart card. And then you have the Hunter of Vision as your base of the matter. So the crowning card, the Hunter of Paths, is linked to finding the way, looking for ways to reach your goals, progressing wisely, being mindful for wrong turnings, discovering shortcuts, making decisions, and discernment. Wow. It's interesting how it talked about being mindful of wrong turnings, because I did feel like that moon in the tower, there was a bit of a warning there that something was happening that you knew about, but maybe even linked to your fears. But this one is saying it's the Hunter of Paths. So looking for ways to reach your goal, finding the way. And then the central card you have is the Spirit of Empowerment, and it's linked to feelings of strength, positive energy, life-giving force, heightened awareness, belief in the self restored, enlightenment, a sense of becoming and being true to yourself. Wow, some of those concepts have come up a little bit too, especially the enlightenment I was feeling, and also that being true to yourself, like making decisions that are for you. Something that I think it might be something you have learnt before, but it might just be really apparent for you this month. And then the base of the matter card is that Hunter of Vision. So 2 hunting cards for you, which is very appropriate for Sagittarius, I do think, and especially this one because it has the figure here has the bow and arrow, which is a very Sagittarian symbolism. So the Hunter of Vision is linked to insight, foresight, hindsight, clarity of vision, the gift of recognition, wise decision making, choosing well, recognizing deeper levels, and interpreting mysteries. And that was for that Ace of Water and Ace of Fire combo. The next cards I have for you are the Mists of Avalon Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Igraine. And her energies are around motherhood, acceptance, feminine power, and beauty. So that's the underlying energy of the month, which is interesting, I do think, because the other, that shaman underlying energy was the Shaman of Stars, but the figure has children, and then this one mentions motherhood. So I'm not sure if you're a mother or not, or if it's about your mother or a mother in your life, but it's interesting that there's some underlying energies there to do with the feminine power and motherhood, and potentially children. Okay, so the crowning card for you is the White Heart, and it's linked to perspective, new beginnings, realignment, and awakening, and linked with the Hunter of Paths. So there's a new beginning, and that's what I was sensing with that Tower card, that maybe the things that it does destroy are things that you didn't even want in your life anyway, or need, you know. It's actually might be a bit refreshing on some level. And realignment. The central card for you we have is Bridget. Her energies are around radiance, passion, birth, and soul empowerment. So she is actually a fire goddess as well. So once again, Sag, we have this fiery kind of queen goddess. We had the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Fire, and we have Bridget in the center here. And she's linked here with the spirit of empowerment as well. And then the base of the matter is Chalice Hill, and it's linked with faith, wellness, yin and yang, and balance. And that's linked with the Hunter of Vision. That is interesting to me, though, with the yin and yang, because obviously we do have, and we have the full moon. We do have the full moon this month, but also the eclipse season. So that makes me think of yin and yang energies as well, the eclipses. Okay, the next cards I have for you are the Ancestral Oracle of the Celts. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Tracker, another card that makes me think of Sagittarius. And yes, not a female in the card either. So if you aren't female, this might resonate a little bit better with you. It is the underlying energies of the month, but yeah, they even have a bow. So the Tracker's energies are around, you have already seen the tracks, but maybe not recognized them consciously. Scrutinize the evidence and watch the signs. A great change is coming, but what you bring has to be sought out. Be ready. Blend into the background as you wait. Seek assistance from those who support you or draw upon their special skills. I follow unnoticed signs in order to find my quarry. So I got from that there could be, because that's the underlying energy of the month, there could be like signs, you know, synchronicities, things like that, that really help you this month as well, lead you into maybe learning certain things that you might not have known. Or the crowning card for you this month is the Protector, linked to the White Heart. Central card is the Way Shower. My goodness, the Way Shower with Bridget. And and then the base of the matter is the Lady of Life, linked with Chalice Hill. So the crowning card of the Protector. Keeping the way for those who cannot speak or act for themselves is something for which you may not be thanked or recognized. By using your skill or gifts, you can make a safe place or way for others. If you are protecting the concerns of an employer, ensure that you have your own safeguards. I protect the boundaries, keeping harm far away from my clan. Even that is a very Sagittarian energy too, that protector energy. And it's linked to this white heart. Maybe there's a protector, either you'll be or someone coming in this month for you that's protective of you as well. Or maybe you're even just feeling quite protective over yourself and your family. The central card is the Way Shower, and it says, step confidently forward on the path that's unfolding. So far, the way is clearly marked, but keep alert for signs of change. There is an easy familiarity with the way so far. Keep checking in with your dreams for the clues that reveal dangers. Prospects of travel is coming. I open the unseen ways beneath your feet and in your dreams. Okay, wow. So there's some kind of journey upcoming that's ongoing. And the dreams, that did make me think of that moon card there as well that we had. And then the base of the matter is the Lady of Life. What is the foundation of this matter? What and who needs support? Where can your greatest gifts and abilities be used best? What is drawing you out of your shell? What always gives you vitality when you are low? What is stealing or blocking your vitality? Whose influence shapes your life the most? How are you being invited or ignored? I bestow the gift of receiving and empowering energy. The ability to enter into the heart of things is yours. So that's the Lady of Life here. Linked to the Chalice Hill. I wonder if you need to go to some sacred place. I mean, Chalice Hill has that kind of energy. The next cards I have for you, it's actually the last deck here, is the Moon Witch Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun card, which suggests to find a balance. So it's important for you to find balance. And also this card, the Chalice Hill card, did mention balance as well. The first card for you, the crowning card for this month, is last quarter. What is holding you back? So maybe even this protective energy is holding you back. I'm not sure, because that's linked to that card. And then the central card, you have Ceres, love and mother yourself. So there is some kind of mother stuff going on here. I think this is one of the, is it the third card maybe linked to mothers and children and things? And that's a central card, the Way Shower. And witchy medicine, connect to the earth. And that is linked to the Lady of Life. So these are the cards that I have for you, Sagittarius, for the month of August. Just wanted to say that also this month, interestingly, I think, we do have Venus in True Sky Virgo. And at some point, it will square your Sagittarius placement. So just be aware of that. When I just heard the from one of the cards, I can't remember, it was that Sun card on the underlying energies of the month, that Sun card. Interesting, because it's linked to the tracker as well. and it was talking about finding balance. It did make me think of that. And then also you had on that base of the matter card with the Chalice Hill, you had the balance there as well. I do feel like that is an important thing for you this month. Even though we have not seen the Temperance card or anything like that, I just think with this Venus square, whenever it is that's going to occur for you, so I'm not sure what degree you are, so I can't really say exactly, but sometimes when there's a challenging energy with Venus, it can bring in some more extreme energies, like less, you know, softer, you know, more beautiful energies. It can, yeah, so I just think that trying to remember that balance, like I just mean as in potentially even overspending or something like that, which can be a bit of a weakness for Sagittarians. I know that, you know, having Jupiter as your ruling planet, which is such a positive ruler, and it seems to attract money and resources to you, or opportunities, maybe it can be a little bit easy to kind of be overly optimistic about, you know, your resources and finances and things like that. And Virgo is a little bit more restrictive and more calculating and moderate and things like that. So maybe it could help you. Maybe that energy is trying to balance some of that excessive energy there. But yeah, just be aware. I think balance is a really nice note to kind of leave it on here. So I hope you have a fantastic month ahead, Sagittarius. And if you have made it this far and you got anything out of the reading, even if you've just found it somewhat entertaining, or if it did resonate on any level, let me know in the comments. Or even if it didn't, you know, it's nice to hear from you guys. And yeah, if you could like it, or share it, or subscribe if you haven't already, that would be fantastic. I really appreciate all of the interaction that I get on this channel. And take care, and I'll be back soon. Bye.